everyone. How are you doing today? And my beautiful people, it is so great to be here. And today I'm going to be answering a question. And I just got to remember what I did with the question. All right, bear with me a second. It's on my desktop somewhere here. This question came in from our viewer, Um Umlahifa. Umlahifa. Friend to the channel, always being so supportive. And I can't believe I lost the question. It's okay though. I'm going to get it up here before the end of this broadcast. But basically, what the question that they asked had to do with TubeBuddy's best practices. So let's just get to that. Once you install the TubeBuddy extension and you connect your YouTube account, one of the things that you're able to do is whenever you upload a video or even a live stream after you're done, you'll be able to go into the video edit page and go through a checklist of best practices. Now, most of these best practices were recommended by YouTube, but TubeBuddy is supplying them there for you pretty much as a reminder. It's just a reminder of these are the things that you should make sure that you check off whenever you are doing all the metadata for your video. Okay, so it's pretty important, especially if you've already got existing videos before you install TubeBuddy for the very first time. You're definitely going to want to go through your older videos and make sure all those best practices have been taken care of. So let's first go over to a screen share so you can see just what I'm talking about. So in this screen share, this is a video that I actually made unlisted because I think I had audio issues on the video. And here is the best practice checklist that I'm referring to. In fact, I'm going to refresh it really quickly just to make sure. Okay. So the question that came in was specifically asking about chapters and captions. Okay, so those are the two things. Now I'm going to come back and show exactly what those two things are. We're going to go over those. But what I want to do first is for us to go over into this whole entire checklist. And now here I am in the TubeBuddy dashboard for my account. And one of the things that you can do is go through this checklist that TubeBuddy has provided, starting from here, where it says best practices setup. And how you get here is you go to your TubeBuddy dashboard, and then over on the left-hand side, you'll see settings. All right, at the very bottom, it's kind of off screen. So actually it says setup. All right, so this is the best practices setup here. And these are some of the reminders. Now, chapters, which is the first thing you see here, is a new feature that YouTube added recently. So let's really just go into that really quickly because this is something that a lot of folks may not know. All right. So, what is a chapter on a YouTube video? Anyone can add chapters to a video I believe the video has to be at least 60 seconds long, or maybe it's 30 seconds. And it's like a timestamp, but it actually shows up in the timeline when someone's watching your video. You know, there's a little red play timeline at the bottom, but you'll see it sectioned off. And those sections can be entered by us as creators. And in order for it to work, the very first timestamp that you need to add to your video description is 0:00. And then you would say whatever it is. It's the introduction, or it's the whatever the title of the video is. Like this one would be best practices for TubeBuddy. Actually, this is best practices for your video. There's also a couple more stipulations. There has to be at least 3 of these timestamps, and they have to be at least 10 seconds. The segment has to be at least 10 seconds long. Okay, so so let me show you what it looks like on a video where I actually have it already set up. Let's see if we can navigate over to a video where I've got the chapter set up. And we're just going to put this on mute before we start screen sharing. Okay. And let's make sure, okay, here, good. This is a good example. All right, this is a video I did about the Facebook news feed. And notice here, these little segments. It's maybe kind of small for you to see. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger to make sure you guys can see this here. And when you scroll down to my description of my video, it says at the 0:00, that was the first part of the video. So let me scroll over again here, and you see even the titles that I named it. In other words, at the 6, or actually this would have been the 5:25, change newsfeed settings on Facebook app. And so those are chapters. Those are considered as chapters. Okay, so there's your chapters. All right, is everybody familiar with that? And hey, Pam is here. So let's get comments up from my lovely friend Pam. Thank you so much. I know, Pam, I know you're familiar with most of this stuff. So go ahead, and if you have anything to add to this, go ahead and leave a comment and add anything, because you never know when a sister might miss something. Okay. So, in fact, then maybe this is a good time for me to try to bring up this comment or this question that came in. And I just got to make sure I remember what video it was left on. Ah, good. This is the one. Okay. Pam says, hey, I can still learn plenty. Thank you, my dear. Okay, so when I saw this comment come in, I pretty much knew what Lafia, and let me move the screen over, or let me zoom out a little. Don't really need to see that sidebar over here. Okay. It's not that easy to get to the comments on this. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll go in the back end and get to the comments. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. Go to my channel, comments. And this is probably going to be the best way for you to see this anyway. All right, here we go. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. All right. So here he says, can you also make a video about best practices here in YouTube? And the thing is, I don't understand is high res thumbnail. And then, he gives the list here. And I could tell by based on the items that were in this list, I could tell this was something that he got from TubeBuddy. And he says, for example, chapters added and captions added. Don't ask me what it is. Thanks. Okay. And I just said, sounds like you're looking at TubeBuddy. And he said, yes, exactly. And then I said, I will cover this very soon. And Lafia, wherever you are, thank you for your wonderful, wonderful topic suggestion for today's video. And, we're covering more than one thing here because I first wanted to explain and describe what chapters were. So we've done that. We've gone through and we looked at how you have to set up chapters. Remember, the first one must start with 0:00. Someone else asked a question about a week ago. No, this was about a month ago now. And they said, I can't get these captions to work on these chapters. I'm sorry, to work on my client's video. And the question came out to a bunch of different YouTubers, but I was the only one that noticed. What happened was there was a typo. Hey, Dryer Buzz, great to see you, my love. There was a typo in one of the timestamps, and Monty says chapters are cool. They are. And what happened was the person didn't have the timestamps in chronological order because of this typo. They typed a 3 ahead of a 2 or something like that. I'm just making up exactly. I can't remember exact numbers. But really, what they done, it was just really a typo. And then they just had to go in and make it 2, 3, and whatever minute or timestamp that was in the video. Okay, so we've gone over chapters. So next thing we're going to move into is another question that Umlafa had. And I apologize if I'm pronouncing that name incorrectly. And that was about captions. So here's another thing that's on this best practices setup from TubeBuddy. And hey, since I know I got a couple TubeBuddy pros in the audience today, now might be a good time for me to let you know that if there's anything on this best practice list that you don't want to see, you just come in here to your setup and turn it off. So, for example, I don't need to have Facebook share and get a like on my checklist. You know why? I'll come back on screen and tell you why. Because I repurpose my videos on Facebook. So I don't post the YouTube version. I literally upload the video to my Facebook page. So there's no point in me thinking, oh, let me post the YouTube version. Maybe some people will go over to YouTube, and I don't do this on every single video, but I don't need to be reminded to get a share or a like on Facebook because I really don't use Facebook to promote my YouTube videos. I do use it to promote my channel in general, but not specific videos. So I just turned that feature off. Now let's see. I don't think I needed to do any extra saving. Looks like it already took that. All right, I'll do another one just to see what happens. Once, oops, sorry. Forgot I wasn't screen sharing. Let's do another one. I'll put it back on. See, best practice changes were saved. Nope, you don't see it because I didn't have the screen. There you go. So my changes were already saved. All right. So another question that Umlafa had was about the thumbnail. This is one that I probably could check off and turn off. I don't need to get reminded about the thumbnail because 99% of the time, with today being an exception, I have my thumbnail already uploaded before I either go live or, if I'm doing a uploaded video, the thumbnail's probably already out of the way. Now, like I said, today is an exception to that. So if anybody's seeing a janky thumbnail, that's because I really just wanted to get into the content today. And unfortunately, I had to work from home. Some of us still have to work. Okay, so not only can we turn things off from TubeBuddy's checklist, we also can add. Now, here comes the bonus tip. Bonus tip, y'all. Oh, this is a ninja tip. Because I got it from an actual ninja, from the head of the Neminati, Nick Nemon. He gave me a tip, and I just started implementing. Well, he didn't just give it to me, he gave us a tip in one of his YouTube videos that I decided I'm going to start using this strategy because I never liked using this strategy before. But when he said it, it just made so much sense. I was like, I got to try it. So you can add your own items to this checklist. And this bonus tip was to add a comment. And Monte says that Nick always has some great tips and strategies. So here's what he and his brother D as well do. And I found a few other YouTubers that do this as well. That's why I decided to at least try it. I mean, hey, I can't go wrong with it. The comment, leave a comment on your video telling people what video to watch next. So if you know that you've got a video about Facebook, or I say that because I always got a lot of videos about Facebook, and when someone finishes watching that video, maybe they go down there to leave you a comment, maybe they don't, or maybe they just happen to see it when they're on their phone because people are poking around, and they'll see because you're going to pin this comment to the top, and it's going to say something like more Facebook tips, or you want to know more about using your Facebook page, whatever. Okay, the topic is, you guys know, I ain't got to tell you guys that, and the link to the video. Not a whole bunch of the cow jumped over the moon and sign up for my email list, and not in this particular tactic, okay, or technique or strategy, whatever you want to call it. You just So what I decided to do, because I just started doing this maybe about 3 weeks ago, is I decided to add it to my best practice setup, and because I wanted to show that off to you today when I did this video. So you see here, I added it right up at the top. See where it says add item? So add watch next video link. And then also it says show description. Tell viewers what they need to watch next. So if I wanted to add another item, then I would add another item. So you can put images in there because this is going to be only in your dashboard. Okay, Blazing Ben, you are blazing fast because you still got here. Even though you missed the first 15 minutes, you still got here in time to find out we're talking about video best practices setup. Okay, so thank you so much for joining. All right, James is here. Hey. My old blogging buddy, James Pruitt. What's happening? I'm so glad you're doing YouTube now as well. Okay, so now let me remind you again how that looks on the back end, because I showed you, like where that list is and how to set it up. But now I'm just going to go back over into, we're in the video edit page. We're on the video edit page, and you see here I have TubeBuddy is going to give you this little box here with these reminders. And now I'm just going to tell it to recheck and see There's something that I didn't do was add chapters because, as I told you guys, this is just an unlisted video that I wanted to use as an example. Here's my add watch next video link. Now, TubeBuddy's not going to be able to um, search this one out, the one that I added. This is just something I'm just going to have to remember myself to do or not be annoyed when it doesn't go away. And so the next thing is captions. Now, also, before we go from here, you can look at completed. If you just wanted to remind yourself of all the wonderful things you already did, you made sure your title was between 20 and 70 characters. You added enough tags. You had tags in the title. You added to a playlist. Oh, that's one that I've often have forgot to do. Or add cards or end screens. Like I said, this is really, really important for someone who just started using TubeBuddy. And you've got all these older videos, or maybe even if it's only 10 or 15 older videos, and you found out about TubeBuddy, right? And you're like, oh, wow, let me see, what can I do to get myself going with TubeBuddy? Well, first thing you can do is subscribe to this channel because I'm always talking about TubeBuddy because I love it so much. And you can go in there and make sure that you have all of your past videos, have all the things that are on your checklist. And like I said, really quickly, just a quick reminder of how you can get to that list, because it took me a minute to figure out how to get there. And then I had to remind myself how to get to that list. So I'm trying to make it easy for you. When you're in the back end here of this video and you see this best practices list here, always look for these little icons. All right. So here is the little gear or cogwheel, whichever one you want to refer to it as. Okay. And that's how you get back over to the list. All right. And did you notice? Oh, I just love it when my friends give me kudos. It's an invaluable resource. I've only been using TubeBuddy for a couple of months and it's been a game changer for my channels. Yes. If you are a newbie to TubeBuddy, you can really see, especially if you're someone who's not really been that prolific with YouTube. You know, some of these things you just have it in the back of your head when you've been doing YouTube since 2009, right? However, YouTube's always changing stuff, like this adding chapters. That's new. That just start since we've been on lockdown. I won't say those words. That's when this adding chapters thing became a thing. Okay, so there's that. All right. So the next question was about the thumbnails and having a high resolution thumbnail. And it's pretty much there's two different sizes that people recommend to optimize your video thumbnail to. All right. You can actually create a video thumbnail inside of TubeBuddy. So I'm going to say that one more time because I know some people probably didn't know that. You can create a thumbnail inside of TubeBuddy. So I don't want to hear about you don't have graphic skills and this and that. And you're either just going to take a picture of yourself, and everybody's got a phone to take a picture of themselves. You know, take it in landscape if your video is in landscape, and you can put some words on it. Or you don't have to put words. Maybe it's just a still shot of you. Okay? So going back to the screen share now. So here is where you have to upload the thumbnail. Remember I told you could create it within TubeBuddy? We're not going to go into that, but I just wanted you to see that you could do that. Now, you know, I'm not sure if it's available on all plans, but I have a feeling that it is. Okay. So you need to upload a thumbnail. Remember, I told you there's two different sizes. So write this down. If this is new to you, this is time for you to grab a pencil. 1280 is your width by 720. That's and we always use that one. Like I said, I've been here since 2009. We used that one for years and years and years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, when they started with the whole 4K thing and 360 video, all these other videos, then all of a sudden they started talking about 1920 by 1080. It's really the same aspect ratio, which is 16 by 9. Okay. If you can get it at 1920 by 1080, do so if you can. I don't know what your graphic skills are. I don't know what software you're using or any of that. But if you can't, you must do 1280 by 720. And I don't care if that's all you can do is take a picture with your phone and upload that thumbnail. That's what you should do. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, so that's what a high res thumbnail is. And man, oh man, these cameras we got on our phones now. I know every now and then some folks have phones that may not have a high res camera, but you may have a friend who's got, even some of these Android phones, because I have an iPhone, but some of the Android phones have the even better cameras than my iPhone. No shade against iPhones, even with the new ones coming out. There's some dynamite cameras out there. So get a high res photo, okay? And upload that. All right. So, captions. Now, I saved captions for the last because I really want to talk to you about captions and the way YouTube treats captions. First, I will say that YouTube uses these words interchangeably. YouTube uses these words interchangeably. And oh my gosh, I always hated random thumbnails. Some were awful. Yes, they are. They are pretty bad. They can be pretty bad. But I really kind of have a bone to pick with YouTube about the way they use these words interchangeably. Because even right within your dashboard, captions are also referred to as subtitles. And I know there's some subtle difference. Don't ask a sister, what it is, because YouTube got me confused. But the bottom line is that people can read the words that are on the screen if they're watching your video and they don't have the volume up, if they use English as a second language, or maybe they don't even understand English, but they may be able to pick out some words when they see them up on screen written out, or it's easy for them to go look something up. Okay, so this is why it's important to use captions. I'll call them captions, all right? Also, YouTube is going to use their AI, and their AI is good. It's very, very good because I do this all the time. I go in and because YouTube will automatically generate these subtitles slash captions for you, I will go in and edit them. And I highly recommend that you do this. And I know some people say, well, send it out to Rev which is rev.com. I don't personally, I don't use Rev. And one of the reasons why I don't is because I do it myself. And I've come to find out that over the years of me doing my captions, hey, Larry Snow, how are you? Of me editing my captions, This artificial intelligence engine that YouTube has learned how I speak. And a lot of times when I go and edit my captions, I may only have to spend a couple of minutes correcting things. And primarily my name, my name is typically spelled wrong. Believe it or not, there has been a couple of times when my name was spelled correctly. So that lets me know, like I said, that this artificial intelligence is really getting smarter and smarter because, for one thing, people come to YouTube and they do search for me by name. And also because I make this correction all the time, you know, the computer, machine learning, it picks up on the fact that, hey, maybe her Eileen is not spelled Eileane. And that's important for you to know that, because if you want to get TubeBuddy, how do I have caps lock on? Oh, if you want to get TubeBuddy, you need to know that you can get 20% off on your upgrade if you use my code, which is Eileen's Buddy. But first, you got to go to this link, eileen.link/TubeBuddy. So that's ILEANE.link/TubeBuddy. So let's really quickly go over to captions/subtitles. And, like I said, I don't know why they use these words instead of either calling one or the other. And so when you're on your video editing page, and I'm just going to make this page a little bit smaller here so you can see the little icons. That's not working. Hang on, let me make it so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. I'm going to have to unzoom it. Oh, the scene is locked. So bear with me 1 second. Take that little lock off and unzoom it. All right. And so over on the left-hand side, you see, when you're editing a video, you're editing the details, which is what we just did. You look at the analytics. We're not going to go into the video editor. We're not even going to talk about that. Comments, and then the very next thing. And if you see me hover there, I know it's tiny, but since I'm going to go to another screen, I'm not going to zoom in right now. But the word that it says there is subtitles. 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 Okay. And over here, it actually does say subtitles here now. It used to say captions, and it says captions somewhere on here. I'm not going to, somewhere in YouTube it says captions. All right, so these are the automatic captions. Now, I don't want you to be alarmed if you've done a live stream and you don't see these subtitles. Oh, shucks. I triple clicked, covered up my screen here. Because YouTube has to process them. It is a machine and all that old good stuff, but it still has to work to process them. So just give it time. It will do it. All right. So this is a new interface. All right. So pay attention. If you've been used to being back here before, they made it a little easier here, because this is the automatic captions here, or the automatic subtitles. But we're going to click on this button here that says duplicate and edit. Oh, before I do that, I want to go over to the 3 dots and show you the different options you have here. You can unpublish them. You can download different types of files, which are VTT, which I never use, SRT, which I do use because they work on Facebook, and SBV, which I don't use. Okay, let's go to duplicate and edit. So your caption track failed to update. Please try again. All right, that's okay. Like I said, this was an unlisted video. So let's see if I do it one more time. Ah, there it is. Who knows what kind of glitch in this force that was. But there you have it. All right. So the timings are there. And remember, we talked earlier about the chapters. This is where you get your timings from for your chapters. You go in here, and remember, I told you for the chapters, the first one needs to start off with 0:00. You have to have at least three, and they have to be at least 10 seconds apart. But you really want to, to help with the user experience, you really want it to be more than 10 seconds apart. It should be at least a minute, and I know you probably cover more than one topic in a minute, but just you the chapters are helping people to get to what they need to know in the video. So when you really make a major topic change, that's when you should use a chapter marker. Don't just use a chapter marker because you just kind of were waffling around or whatever. All right? You really, like I was just talking about the two, we've been talking about TubeBuddy, the best practices. Actually, these are YouTube's best practices. TubeBuddy just gives us a handy little checklist. I showed you how to fix that. I showed you how to fix something else. Now we're moving on to the captions. So now it's time for me to put a chapter marker. So like right now, I know my Ecamm Live is telling me that I'm at the 38-minute mark. So when I go back later on and do the chapters, I'll remember this. But also, these captions can help you because they already put the timestamps in here for you. So, what you would do, and I'm assuming at some point in here I said my name, and that's what I would look for. And, maybe I didn't because, like I said, this video the audio was all messed up. And so and I probably should delete this video, but I know that there's some nuggets of goodness in here somewhere. So I'm kind of like a hoarder that way. So let's just say friends use I know I didn't say Gore because I wouldn't talk about Al Gore in a video. Agorapulse. There's also Planoly is what I said. So I would go in here and change these words to Agorapulse. Now, easy to understand why YouTube didn't know what I was talking about there. Agorapulse is not exactly a household name. All right. So now I've got my published subtitles. Go back to the screen share again. So they're published. So what I like to do is go ahead and download that file, and then I can have it up on my computer. You can open it up in any text editor. You don't get discouraged because it's an SRT file. And you're like, well, how do I open an SRT file? If you're on your Mac, you can use your text editor. If you're on PC, same thing. Use your text editor. It took me a minute to figure it out because I used to be so intimidated by the SRT files. I thought I needed an SRT reader, and I went on and I found extensions on Chrome that help you. You don't need any of that. Just open in your text editor, and it's fine. Okay. And you probably could even, especially on Windows, convert it to a DOC or DOCX and open it that way. Because it's going to give you your timings there so that you can put at least those 3 chapter markers in your video. Now, does it help you get more views? I'm not sure. Does it improve the experience from the viewers? Yes, I know it does for me because now I'm looking for YouTubers to have those chapter markers in there. And I rely on that more than I do captions because very rarely do I want to sit and read, but I know others do. You know, others want to read. They may be in a place where they don't want to disturb others, or they may, have um, problems with hearing, or like I said earlier, they may have other languages. Yes, the chapter markers are the timestamps in the description, but use your subtitles to scan through your subtitles to find out when do I change topic. I mean, not unless you're doing that as you're creating a video, especially if you're doing an uploaded video. But like for me, who does a lot of live streams, okay, I don't know when I change the topic, but I can look at my subtitles and scan down and say, oh, that's when I answered Larry's question, and it would have been at the 41-minute mark. Because I can just scan through my subtitles, and then I don't have to read all of them. I don't have to keep going back and forth. Like, when was that question? Let me see. When did I put that up on screen? I did not. I'm going to put it up on screen again. Okay. So use it as a tool to help you in more than one way. Now, I'm going to show you another place for these captions. Not on that particular, well, maybe I will work on that particular video since I did publish them. All right, hang on. Let me mute. Okay, it is muted. Let me get the screen share ready for you guys, okay? Before I. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's that third word. Remember, I told you that YouTube, I just watched the video on the front end, and then again, you're a lot shorter, but then again, they're a lot shorter than yours. Yes, you could do it that way as well. But since you should be editing your captions, unless you're sending them, or maybe you send them out to Rev, do you do captions? Because remember, I told you that YouTube does use more than one word for it, and we saw subtitles. Okay. Now let's go to the front end of the video, okay, on the watch page. All right. And I'll show you something else. Right over by where you can add it to a playlist, right? I'm not going to add to a playlist. See the three dots? Always look for the three dots. Click on those three dots and look what it says. Open transcript. It didn't say subtitles. It said transcript. Okay. All right. Now when you type them in as subtitles, but when somebody looks at it on the front end, they're transcripts. I don't understand why YouTube does that. I don't know the difference. Okay. Occasionally you use Rev. Okay, Larry. Honestly, I have never I used Rev like when it first came out and everybody was like, "Oh, Rev, this is wonderful." And they had like a free trial or whatever for the first, I don't know, 30 minutes. And then they have Temi, which is another one you can get a free trial. So all of those of you who don't want to go in here and edit them like I do, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Rev.com. And I'll just type it in. I don't have an affiliate link for that one. Rev.com and Temi. Rev.com is actually it's the same company, but Rev uses actual humans to do the translation, and Temi is their artificial intelligence. So you see, if you're using Temi, or even if you're using Rev, I recommend you still read through it anyway when you get it back, just in case. I know they're humans, but they can make mistakes too, right? Especially if you're saying, like, say, Agora Pulse. That might be something that a human may not know. What was she talking about? Even though they probably know an Agora Pulse, but you know what I'm saying. It could be some kind of colloquialism or trade name or whatever. And Larry says he always checks. So why waste your time checking Rev? Well, you can just check YouTube. Because trust me, nobody has better artificial intelligence than Google and YouTube. That's just all to it. And yeah, in some cases, it's better than humans. But like I said, I get it. I understand if it's part of your workflow. I'm not trying to say nobody should ever use Rev. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for me, this is what I've done, and I've been doing it since 2009. In fact, I have a video about how to edit your YouTube captions. This is what I called it. And basically, the interface is almost exactly the same as it was. And that video was, I think, from 2012. Okay, so I've been doing this for a long time, and it doesn't take that much time. Now, on a live stream like this, I'm not going to worry about the whole entire video because guess what? Nobody watching the whole entire video. And the person that is watching this whole entire video don't care about the closed captions. And if you're that person and you're watching right now and in replay, just leave me a comment and let me know. You're wrong. Just say you're wrong and I'll know what you're talking about. Okay? All right. So, uh you can go to the video watch page. Now you can do this on anyone's video. It doesn't have to be your own. You will see these transcripts because when they're on the side, they're called transcripts. Y'all saw. I didn't make that up. Y'all saw. YouTube called it transcripts. Now with subtitles on the other side. Okay. And what you can do, now this was a long video, but what you can do is copy all of these if you want. It just depends upon what you want to use it for, okay? Rather than going into the editor. All right. But then this is another way for you to make your chapter markers. Just scrub through here. And like I said, you don't want to do a chapter marker every 35 seconds. You say, okay, you have to have that 0:00. Okay. Beginning of the video or whatever you want to call it. Then you may just want to, not, that's too far. Let's say you want to go to around a 3-minute mark. What was I talking about there? Did I change topics or whatever? Then you add a chapter marker. Okay. Yeah. In this case, Alfredo was there asking me a question. So, and it was a good question. It was right on topic. Yay, Alfredo, wherever you are. Okay. So that is, I think I covered everything from the original question that came in. And so just one more time, we'll go back to that comment here so that you guys know. And if you're watching this and if you have a question, leave me a comment. I appreciate laf lehifa so much for always being such a great supporter of the channel and leaving this question. And he wanted to know about video best practices here in YouTube. And he didn't understand. So we went over the thumbnail. Oh, we can go over the info card and the end cards, even though my most recent video, I just talked about info cards and end cards. But we can go over that really quickly. And pinned comments, here's an example right here. His comment is pinned. And honestly, I'm not sure if this is a he or a she. So I will say their comment is pinned. And if I wanted to instead pin a different comment, here's my buddy Scully. I don't know if you can see him. Yes, Scully's House of Thrillers. If I wanted to pin his comment instead, I would just click on those 3 dots and then pin that comment. Okay. And I did always appreciate Scully's House of Thrillers as well. He always leaves some dynamite feedback and dynamite comments there. Okay. So, and thanks for the thumbs up, guys. Whoever is watching right now, I appreciate you guys so very much. Okay, so let's just go into the end cards because it's easy enough to get in there. And for anybody who really wants to know about all these things. Hey, Regina. Regina, good to catch me live. Thank you so much, dear. It's great to see you. I hope all is well. Okay, so here now, this one I want to give you guys a little tip that I do when I'm doing my end screens and my cards. Okay, because TubeBuddy will give you links to the end screens and links to the cards. And also, you can create templates. And I see now that that's a little off screen. Okay, let me resize things for you guys. Sorry about that. I caught myself. Something said, look over there and make sure everybody can see. All right. Now, these were ones that were already checked off. I had already done on this particular video. I always like to use these links that YouTube provides. Just because YouTube moves stuff around and sometimes TubeBuddy doesn't get a chance to. But let's just see. It's probably updated now. But the one time when I clicked this on, YouTube had shut down Classic, so it didn't know where to go. But it looks like they fixed it. TubeBuddy fixed it now. Oh, yay! They fixed it. Oh, see, this took me into the video editor, and that's not what I want. So I will, for now, until TubeBuddy catches up with all these changes that YouTube is making. For your end card, you just want to go into this little one that YouTube has provided. Okay. And so here's where you can add the end cards. All right. Now, TubeBuddy has the fantastic templates. So one of my templates is best for viewer, and then here's one I have for live stream. So I would apply that template. Fail to apply the maximum of 4 end screen elements reached. Can only have one best for viewer. Oh, I must have best for viewer here twice by mistake. Although I didn't get rid of the ones that were there. So I need to get rid of these before I apply a template. Sorry about that. Okay, so now, a couple comments came in. Sorry. I usually use pinned comments to link to a relevant video. Okay, yes, you missed that when I said that earlier. I got that tip from Nick, so you probably got that tip from Nick Nemon and the Nemonati as well. Let me finish reading here. I usually use pinned comments to link to a relevant video, which is usually the same video I'm linking to in my end screen. This way, there is congruency showing people where I want them to go next. Now, you added a special twist to that, James, that I am not doing. Because, and so I love your concept here. And I always, always. Oh, let me come back. I gotta come on screen for this because this is something that I've got to impress on you guys. And y'all know I already said how much I love Nick Nemon. I love D Nemon, and I see James is saying he got this from Daniel Patel. That same tip. And you guys are all here listening to me, or you're watching this in the replay. But I don't care what anybody else tells you about these kinds of things. You always have to test them for yourself. Now, I just started adding that link, okay, in the pinned comment. And so I don't have any test results to say that's working. Because right now there's a couple of videos that I think should get more attention. So will that work? Or should I send people to a video that everybody loves? Well, will that work? Because, hey, they probably already saw that video. Maybe that's even how they found the video they're watching now from that other video, and I'm sending them back there. That's a waste. So there's a lot of magic that can happen with this. But here's what I'm doing now with my end screens. Okay. Now, even though I was going to show you a template, I'll show you what I'm really doing uh, right now. Because maybe 6 months ago, I was testing something else. And right now, I am testing. Um, I'm not even going to add a playlist. I'm going to let you, oh, shucks. I'm going to let YouTube do the work for me. I'm going to have the best video for viewer as one of my end cards, and the other one is going to be most recent upload. And like I said, I'm just testing. Okay, yeah. So, best for viewer and most recent upload, because I feel that if you've got to the end of my video, YouTube is better at knowing what you want to watch next than I am. Now, um, as far as most recent upload, if they're watching your latest upload, then it's going to go to the next video, the next most recent upload. I do believe. But guess what, y'all? You got to test this. You got to test it. And I would say test it for at least a month or so and just take a look and see if you're seeing an increase. And, because let's face it, end screens are great, they're amazing if people get to the end of your video to click them on. Okay. Whereas the comment, and the reason why I like this tip that Nick shared, and James said he got it from Daniel Batal, and they probably all put their heads together with this tip because they're all pretty tight, right? Daniel won't even open his silver play button until him and Dee can open theirs together. So these guys are really tight and they're sharing tips with one another. A lot of my videos are a series, so I'm linking to the next video in the series. Okay, great. Yeah. Rish Rishab Guy, thank you for coming and thank you for leaving this wonderful comment. I've never watched you live stream, but I always wanted to. And here I am today, finally. But I wanted to tell you that your video helped me a lot in growing my Facebook Live engagements. Yes! Whoop, 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 whoop. That's a testimonial. Thank you, Rishab. And if I'm saying it wrong, just let me know. Okay. I said I put up the wrong one. I am also testing it on my end screens. I do a link I choose, next one in the series, and second is best for viewer. Okay, yeah. Just use that best for viewer if you can, because on the YouTube card, which we're going to go to next, you don't get the opportunity to give them best for viewer. That's where you pick where you want folks to go. Now, I did a video not too long ago. Oh, I can't remember how long ago it was, talking about having goals for your channel, right? So, my daughter, one of her goals for her channel, it's nice to have subscribers, it's nice to get views, but she also wants to build her email list and she also wants to get more business. Okay. So on her cards, she can link out to her email list because she's got a free course. So people who are watching these, she talks about investment, real estate investments. So if someone may start clicking on that card that says, "Hey, you get a free real estate course," and which is going to be a video course anyway. And it may not, okay, so she sent them away from YouTube. And so YouTube might say, "Hey, they didn't watch that long." Okay, yeah, but they signed up for my email list. So we all have to balance that. We have to balance, in addition to testing, we also have to find that balance. And I gotta be honest with y'all, it's not easy. It is not easy out here being a YouTube content creator. But once you have uh, a goal that you say, this is what I want, even if you make a different goal for each video, you say, this video is out here because I want to send people to my email list. It's not really out here to grow my YouTube channel. It's not really out here to get a whole lot of views. It's really, I need people to sign up for this course I'm doing or whatever it may be, right? Always keep that in mind. So, so let's go over to the cards real quick. I love that James is testing though. Yeah, we got to test. Cuz and you know, this is one of the biggest things that I want you guys to learn from me. You know, James learned a long time ago, and he probably knew it before he even met me. You know, I can give you all kinds of tips and tricks and all this stuff, but the biggest thing I want you to learn is for you to test for yourself. So I'm showing you how these tools work, but you got to work the tools for you and for your goals. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Okay. So here, this particular one, I am sending people to a video. No, video. Yeah, I'm sending people to a video. All right. But like I said, this particular video is an unlisted video anyway. So I'm not really sending anybody anywhere, but let me just show you the choices that you have here. You can send to a video, a playlist, a channel, because you could be sending people to someone else's channel. Or, you know, I kind of don't think it makes that much sense to send them to your channel because they're already watching your channel, but I don't know. And then a link. Now, you have to have an approved website. The cow jumped over the moon, yada, 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 yada. You got to go in here and find out all this. And you click over the little question mark if you got questions about, okay, how come I can't add a link? I'm not answering all that questions right now. Okay. All right. ABT. Always be testing. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure here to just walk through this best practices and to show you how this little best practice is sort of like a widget. It's a checklist, but it's actually like it looks like a widget when you're in your video editor. Okay, so it doesn't affect your whole entire channel, but it will appear on every video on your channel. And I showed you also how to edit it. And I know that some of you guys weren't here, so I'm going to go over that super duper quickly because I just want to make, because I think this is important. I really do. So, really quickly, when you are in the video editor and you see TubeBuddy's little best practice guide over here, you click on the gear, aka cogwheel, whatever you want to call it, and then that opens up the best practices setup. All right. And then you can check off things that you don't want to show up. I use the example of my Facebook share and get a like. I don't need that to show up because I'm not sharing my YouTube videos on Facebook. I'm uploading them as a Facebook video. So, but things like a missing end screen, oh, yes, you want to know about that. Oh, yes, monetization turned on. Oh, yes, you want to know if you forgot to monetize a video. Okay. Task too short? Nah, maybe not as big of a deal for you, but you just want to have that there as a reminder. Whatever you don't want to have as a reminder, maybe that whole concept just annoys you. Get rid of all of them. You can do that. Okay? But I just want you to see why TubeBuddy is the number one browser plugin for optimizing your YouTube channel. I mean, you know, all these folks that love TubeBuddy, they don't love them just because they got the best mugs. We love TubeBuddy because TubeBuddy's the best. Now, there's others out there, and there are others that I use, I will admit. Morning Fame is my second favorite. Nico from Morning Fame is just absolutely amazing, and maybe one day his team will be as big as the Two Buddy team, but right now I think he's a very small scale, and he's got some tools that you really gotta, some people are nerdy about their analytics and others aren't. I'm kind of nerdy. I always been into numbers, spreadsheets, and all that stuff. And then sometimes I just throw my hands up and say, you know what? I'm tired of looking at all these numbers. I'm just going to do the video I want to do. Or I get a question from somebody who is a friend to the channel, and it doesn't matter. I'm not doing keyword research on this. This is a question that I could not pass up on answering this question. Okay, because like I said, it came from a friend to the channel, and right away when I saw these little X's and checks, I knew that the question was about TubeBuddy. And so if you have a question, if you, my beautiful people, you have a question, you nicely and politely, just like Lafayette did, you leave that in the comment for me, or tweet at me on Twitter, or message me over on Facebook. In fact, I have in the description of this video, I have a links page with all my links to all the places you can connect with me. And hey, by the way, before I leave, who's using YouTube store? Who's using yeah, YouTube stories and LinkedIn stories? LinkedIn snuck them stories in there. Thank you so much for this topic. Demands a replay for sure. Thank you so much, Beauty Bubble. Yeah, I actually posted up a couple LinkedIn stories. Oh, Larry, I know you saw one of them. Well, it was repurposed. It's not like I recorded it. Shh, don't tell the LinkedIn people. But I was like, I don't even know what. I don't even use LinkedIn that much. I have a profile, and I probably have more connections on LinkedIn than the average. Actually, LinkedIn was my very, very, very first social media. Before Facebook, before Twitter, before YouTube, I was on LinkedIn. So I got an email. I'm not exactly sure how this person communicated with me, but it was a person that I went to high school with, and she wanted to put together not a reunion, but like a get together of folks. And that's how she found me on LinkedIn. And she was like, well, we're on LinkedIn. I was like, okay, I'll try it. Oh, it's been fun. Have you tried those stories over there? James, are you watching my stories? I think I'll put up another one today. I got so many stories in the can. I might as well throw them up on LinkedIn, because people over there don't know who I am. They don't know nothing about me. So before I leave, I got to make sure I get over here to this video, and something that I always like to do. Um, like I said, I'm kind of nerdy that way. Is I always like to take my chat, and I always like to preserve my chat. And one of the ways I do that is, oh, come on, you gotta give me the link. There it is I copy and paste it. I put it in a Google Doc. Why not? I got tons of space on Google Drive, so I have to get over here and pop this chat out so I don't forget. Okay, so you guys are getting chatty now. Oh, there she. Oh my God, you're here. Wait, I gotta know. Yes. How cool is this? Thank you so much, darling. I will watch the video from the beginning because I came late. No problem. Tell me now, are you a female, or I I don't think you speak I don't think in your videos that you speak English, so I couldn't figure out. Yes, I made it for you. Yes, I did. I made this video for you because you are a friend to this channel. Oh, and James says he hasn't used LinkedIn much in about 8 years. And didn't know anything about it now. Well, anyway, oh, you're German. Wow, female, female. Okay. So a couple times I did call you he, but then I realized, no, I didn't mean to call you he because I wasn't sure. So you're female. Yay! A German living in Spain. Oh my goodness. Well, that is so wonderful. I just love having an international audience. Sister, yay. And that's the beauty of YouTube. That is the beauty of YouTube. And like I said, I realized it. I was like, no, I don't want to call them he because I wasn't sure. So now I know you're a she. Yes, darling. Oh, love it, love it, love it. This is wonderful. And you're just laughing at me. Yeah, laugh at me. That's okay. That's what I'm here for. Okay, guys. So, what I'd like to do is just remind you when I first start off my videos, although I was kind of hesitant about doing that today, I always say, hello, beautiful people. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I know that because we're all together, we're all convened together in the same place, in the same space. It's just not by coincidence. So you're beautiful and you have a beautiful message. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or non binary, that doesn't matter. You're still beautiful. My men are beautiful too now. Don't get it twisted. And you have beautiful beauty inside of you. And this is just like, here's a great example. Is Arabic and means mother. Mother, la, la, Latifa. Latifa? I hope I'm saying it right. And if not, as time goes by, we get to know each other, I'll get it down pat one day. And, I want you to continue to shine your beautiful light. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you are man, woman. Watch more of these videos here, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. As always, I end by saying, stay beautiful.